Hello coaster lovers. So if you see a brand new amusement park that gets built, it seems that it will stay there forever until the end of time. This is not the case with the Geauga Lake amusement park in Aurora, Ohio. Here is a brief history of the park. Geauga Lake opened in 1887 and it was known as a train stop place, where people can hang out and take a break from a train. Then it got more popular and transformed into an amusement park. Then in 1970, another amusement park opened on the other side of Geauga Lake called SeaWorld, Ohio, but nothing happened to the other amusement park. Then in 2001, the two parks merged together and created Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. Then Cedar Fair bought the park in 2004 and destroyed all the animal life section and replaced it with a water park named Wildwater Kingdom and brought back the old name. Then on September 16th, 2007, the amusement park closed for good without the public even knowing, so the public did not have a chance to say goodbye. Mostly every ride was relocated to other parks, but the water park was open until 2016. Some people blame Cedar Fair for the closure, some people even blame Six Flags, but I'm not sure who's responsible for closing the park at the moment. Geauga Lake had 14 coasters throughout its lifetime, and I'm going to rank them up. So in this video, I'm going to rank every single coaster that operated at Geauga Lake. Welcome to King's Coasters. If you're new to the channel and have a passion for amusement rides, this channel is for you, and consider helping us out by subscribing to join the crew. And let's not waste any more time and let's begin the video. 3 of the coasters on the list do not have a lot of information. The first one of these 3 is Little Dipper, a Comet Junior ride. For this roller coaster, there isn't a lot to talk about. Little Dipper opened in 1952. If you've ridden Teddy Bear at Stricker's Grove or Little Dipper at Six Flags Great America, it's a similar ride. Then this ride closed in 1975, but that's about it for this ride. So for number 13, it'll be given to the Wild Mouse. This is a BA Shift Wild Mouse. The closest coaster that I can compare it to is Wild Mouse at Luna Park Sydney Down Under in Australia. This ride looks very sketchy, and it looks terrifying. In the POV, the ride hauls, and there's not much of restraint at all. So yeah, this coaster is probably one of the most sketchiest coasters in existence. But that's all I have to say. Now for number 12, it'll be given to a ride that we actually have a bit of info on, and that is Beaverland Mine Ride, Azir Tivoli. This ride opened in 2000, and this ride's train is unbelievably long, but the layout is whatever. The first row has a little bit of airtime here in the front. In the back, you just get pulled over the elements that this ride has. But there's only a few pictures and video footage of this ride has, so I'm probably using the most common footage that this ride has. And there's a pro and a con that this ride has. The pro is that it luckily got saved. The con is that it's overseas. It is located at Papaya Park in France. And the name change, and it's so unique. The name is Roller Coaster. Just kidding, that name is stupid. But that's it for Beaverland Mine Ride. So for number 11 is the first extreme coaster on the list, and that's Corkscrew, an Aero Looper. This ride is a classic, but I could not find any footage of it, so here's a clone at Bennyland in Japan. This Aero Looper looks alright. The drop is there, the double corkscrew has some float in it, and that's about it. The roughness is probably an issue on this coaster. It looks like you get some headbanging, but if you thought this coaster was gone, psych! It's operating in India at this park called MGM Disney World. What a strange park name. But I have no idea what else to say, so that's it for the corkscrew. Now we're in the top 10. So we are staying with the aero theme with the double loop, and another aero looper which will be taking the number 10 place. This coaster looks nothing special. The only main part is literally in the name of the ride, the double loop. But the drop looks like a ramp, the helix at the end looks like a headbanging city, and the 2 loops looks like it pulls some positives. And the drop before the 2 loops looks like it gives some airtime. This ride also has a pretty setting. I love the scenery around the ride. But aside of that, it's nothing big. But that's it for the double loop. And for the next spot, it'll be given to the third ride that doesn't have a lot of information, and that's Cyclone, Pinfari Cyclone. This coaster also doesn't have footage, so I'm using the clone at Cliffs and Albuquerque. But this coaster looks eh. I mean, the drop looks nice, the helix looks like it delivers some weak laterals, and others. If you've been to a fair and they have a ride called the Super Cyclone, or Cyclone, it's basically a clone of the one at Geauga Lake. But that's about it from what I could find. Switching from steel coasters to wooden coasters, let's talk about Raging Wolf Bob's, a Din wooden roller coaster. The Din Corporation sends shivers down enthusiast spines because the coasters they made aren't great, and Raging Wolf Bob's is no different. This coaster looks so rough, the ride is short, and it doesn't deliver any airtime. This coaster does not look that good, and even the layout is bad. This ride opened in 1998 and closed in June of 2007, but not with the park. But that will be it for Raging Wolf Bob's. So sticking with the bat theme, let's move on to Thunderhawk, a Vekoma SLC which will be taking the number 7 placement. Just like Raging Wolf Bobs, Vekoma SLC sends shivers down enthusiast spines, because if you're in an SLC, you know. And Thunderhawk is no different. This ride is not good, but it has a tiny bit of history though. Thunderhawk was originally called Serial Thriller until 2003, then it was renamed Thunderhawk, and this ride had been relocated to Michigan's Adventure in West Michigan, aka Muskegon, in 2008. But let's go into the ride experience. All the SLC layouts are actually pretty decent, but the experience was not good at all. It looks so horrifically rough, the transitions into the rollover is quite jarring, and the restraints are atrocious, but the ride looks picturesque though. But that's all I have to say. Now going to a similar ride to Thunderhawk, and that's Headspin, a Vekoma boomerang. Most enthusiasts are tired of boomerangs because they are everywhere, but man, these rides are forceful, especially going through the vertical loop backwards. And these ride layouts are very basic, and this ride is not that special. Just like the SLC, if you've ridden a boomerang, you know. This ride was relocated to Carowinds in 2009 as Carolina Cobra. Then in 2017, it got overhauled and transformed into Flying Cobras, and you can still ride that to this day. I've ridden one boomerang, which isn't Vertigo, but that'll be it for Headspin. Now in the top 5, kicking it off is the Big Dipper, a John A. Miller Woody. This takes the number 5 spot because Big Dipper had a big role in Geauga Lake. It was the first major roller coaster added to this park, and maybe the first, period. The layout looks basic, but it is special. The airtime hills deliver nice airtime, the turnarounds have some nice laterals, and the drop reminds me of the Racer. The closest coasters that I can compare to that I've ridden are Tornado at Stricker's Grove and the Racer at Kings Island. Big Dipper is a combination of the both in my vision. This ride opened in 1925 and closed with Geauga Lake, and then it sat abandoned until October of 2016. But I don't know what else to say, so that'll be it for Big Dipper. Now number 4 is another wind roller coaster, and that'll be given to the Villain, a CCI monster. This roller coaster opened in 2000, and this ride looks massive. The drop looks like fun, and the airtime hills deliver nice airtime. This also looks like a very rough ride, but sadly, this ride got scrapped and never got relocated. And it also sucks that this has never been RMC'd. This would be an amazing candidate, but I'm not saying this ride is bad at all means. But can you imagine the possibilities of an RMC at Geauga Lake? But switching back to steel coasters, let's move on to Steel Venom, an Intamin Impulse. This ride was originally called Superman Ultimate Escape. Then when Cedar Fair bought the park, it was renamed to Steel Venom. These rides look very interesting to me, and this one has the rare feature of a holding brake. The other Steel Venom, this one being at Valley Fair, also has one. This coaster looks like a lot of fun. The twisted spike is freaky, the holding brake also looks freaky. I would basically describe impulses as freaky. But this ride closed in 2006 and moved to Dorney Park in Pennsylvania in 2008 as Possessed. And you can ride that to this day. But that'll be it for Steel Venom. Now for number 2, it's the only ride that I've seen that got relocated from Geauga Lake, for now. And that is X-Flight, of Vekoma Flying Dutchman. This ride looks like a great time. The overbank looks wild, and the loop looks like it pulls some strong forces. This ride opened in 2001 and was relocated to Kings Island in 2007 as Firehawk, and that was the time I had seen it. I saw the top of the overbank while I was in Dinosaurs Alive, and I even have a stuffed animal for it to this day. But sadly, this ride closed in October of 2018 and got replaced by Orion. But that'll be it for X-Flight. And for number 1, it's not much of a surprise, and that'll be given to Dominator, a B&M Floorless. Just like X-Flight, this ride looks like a fun time. The drop is very twisted, and the loop is huge, and it has some hang time at the top, and has some whip on the turn after the loop. This ride was originally called Batman Night Flight, then in 2004 it was renamed to Dominator. Then this ride was closed in 2007 and was relocated to King's Dominion in 2008. And I also forgot to mention that I'll be riding 2 of the coasters that operated at Geauga Lake at their new homes this summer. But I will be giving my summer trip plans soon. But I don't know what else to say, so that'll be it for Dominator and this video. If you enjoyed this video and agree with my opinion, I have a lot of great content coming up this summer, and it would be amazing if you subscribe to this channel. What is your ranking of every single coaster that operated at Geauga Lake? And let me know if you've ever been there. Make sure to post anything you like in the comments below, and make sure to stay tuned for my summer plans. Now let's move on to the bloopers. And one more thing, make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello coaster lovers, so if you see a brand new amusement park that gets built, it seems that it will stay there until the end of time. This is definitely not the case with the Geauga Lake Amusement Park in Aurora, Ohio. Here's a bit of history of the park. Geauga Lake opened in 1887 by a name. This ride opened in 2000, and this ride's train is unbelievably long, but the layout is eh. The S Hills looks like it gives some. This ride opened in 2000, and this ride's train is unbelievably long, but the layout is whatever. The S Hill looks like it gives a. Just like Raging Wolf Bobs, Vekoma SLC sends shivers down through these spines, because if you're in SLC, you know. And Thunderhawk is no exception. This ride isn't good, but it has a tiny bit of history. Thunderhawk was